Hello, my name is James and welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is a spoiler review for Tenet. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to get spoiled, watch the spoiler-free review that will be linked to up in the cards above and in the comments below. Yeah, up and below. You'll find the link no matter what. Well, let's talk about Tenet, guys. This was just, it was a masterpiece. It was, without a doubt, Christopher Nolan's, ooh, wow. And on the top of his game. It's just an absolutely stunning film, cinematically wise, storytelling wise, execution, like the directing in this is just top bar. It's top drawer. I mean, it's a masterclass, and it's going to be one of those films that it's going to get better like a fine wine. It's going to get better with age. It's just the concepts in this, like the ability for characters to be going backwards in time as other characters are going forward in time. What do they call that? The time pincer move. In the final act, it's just going to blow your mind as to some of the things that are happening and how they're exchanging information to best the moment. And that's what it's about. Besting the moment. Let's talk about how this is all kind of set up with John David Washington's character. It starts off with a bang. It starts off in this opera, this symphony that was about to go off, and it was filmed at a time when you could fill out an opera in a theater like that with people sitting side by side with no masks. And it just, I went into the theater with my mask on, and I was just like, oh, I wish we can get back to that time. We need to get back to that time where people can amass and enjoy these kinds of things. It was just a breathtaking scene because it starts off with that big explosion and people are starting to get killed, and you're like, what's going on? Okay, there's this hit team, this surgical team that's masking as cops going in to get this guy. Is this guy part of what's going on with the time thing? You're just trying to figure out what's going on, because you know from the trailers this had to do something with time travel or some weird time distortions. So I originally thought this was, the group already informed, but it was just a CIA operation to get this person out, and it was really a test for the John David Washington's character, the protagonist. He got in a situation where he's going to give up his information or he's going to die. He chose to die, but then he was extracted because they realized that capsule that you're supposed to bite down on to kill yourself, then rather than give yourself up to the enemy, that's what his test was. So that was kind of interesting. Now, they do kind of explain sort of things like how the time travel sort of works. I'm pretty sure they do in great detail. It's just a lot of it goes right over your head the first time. A lot of it just is hard to soak in. I might have missed a lot of nuance, and this film has a lot of nuance. I heard people saying that the sound mix for them wasn't all the best. Like, the music at times was a little overbearing. It had that loud bong bong kind of Nolan's signature to it, which was fine because you sort of expect that, but it was well used, especially in scenes like when a plane's crashing through a terminal. It's just, that Nolan filmed an actual plane crashing through a terminal. It's just oh wow. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of nuance in the plot, like how things work, the mechanics behind everything, how the time travel works, and I like how they kind of explain things with this sort of shadow organization, but then they just kind of leave that there. They put that aside. They do a lot of that. They'll set something on the table that makes you go, oh, okay, that'll be interesting to learn about, but then it's just put aside, and we get more developed into the actual plot of this device that's the bad guy, Kenneth Branagh's after, pieces that will be put together to make this algorithm that is how this reverse time thing works. And basically they can put an object, like they can saturate it so that it's actually going back in time instead of forward in time with us. And it's explained, but like the nuance of the explanation is just kind of like, you don't really need to know about that stuff because that's not the real heart of the story. And I kind of admired it for that. But it also leaves it open to kind of like, are they going to explain that later on in maybe more movies in this universe? Because I could see at the end when Robert Pattinson's character goes off to what we know is going to be his death, and we get to learn that he and the protagonist obviously meet later on. It's going to be interesting if they ever can get a sequel off the ground, if that's what they're going to go for. There's just a whole lot of things that they can open up with this time travel ability kind of thing that they use. This is a time travel movie, guys, and it's one of the best time travel movies I would have to say ever. I mean, Back to the Future is obviously stellar. It's great, but it's one of those things that are just kind of like, it's so imaginative with people going forward and back at the same time, and it's just, you're going to want to watch this movie over and over again. The acting is really good. Even though the characters themselves don't have like a whole bunch of time to develop like the rich backstories, some of them do. Like Elizabeth Debicki and Kenneth Branagh, they're kind of like the focal point because Kenneth Branagh's after the algorithm so that he can put it together and destroy the universe. He's sort of the tool in this, though. He didn't create the device, and we don't learn exactly who did in this movie. We just know that there's people in the future that wanted to destroy the past, and if they can get this device to Kenneth Branagh's character, he puts it together and then kills himself, then that will destroy the timeline and the universe. So that's pretty much the plot of them trying to stop him from getting those pieces. And the movie moves along through these action scenes, and you see things to begin with, and you're like, well, why didn't you show me that? And you're like, okay, they must be setting things up for the future, because they're fighting bad guys in the beginning, and you're like, he gets knocked down a hallway, and you're not going to show what happened to that guy? We see that Robert Pattinson looks at him and then walks away. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't kill him or anything. So you know that something was up. And that's how it is with this movie. You know that there's a lot of things going on, and then you're like, when they show it again, are you kind of like, did that really happen like that? Did I see that? Did I miss that? Was there a truck driving backwards in that scene and we just missed it because there was like a huge explosion going off in the background? Did we miss that? It's just kind of like, whew, it's going to take you through a loop, and it's a really appreciated. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this film. There's going to be a lot of videos out there of people trying to break it down, analyze it, look at these particular scenes. What were they trying to set up? There was a plot line with this Indian lady that was supposed to be kind of like the arms dealer for these pieces, that she's trying to, coordinate this all. And I don't know if that she was there and she did a good job. It's just it was obvious that she was working for the protagonist. I see. That's sort of, I'm not too sure, because the last scene kind of suggests that she was, even though she didn't know it until that last moment when he kills her, because I guess she was trying to kill the kid that Elizabeth Debicki had, and of course he protects her at the end. I just got to say, overall, my main takeaway is just, I like Robert Pattinson in this a lot. Robert Pattinson, I was wavering on, because I saw movies like Cosmopolis, Rover, and everything. I was kind of like, those movies were fine, but this one really established him as somebody who can be an actor that can take big franchises like the Batman, and I will be like, yeah, I want to see him do something. I want to see him do more, because he earns that level in this movie, and you will be happily and surprisingly, hopefully, surprised by his performance. You'll be like, yeah, that's cool. What else? Is there anything else more I can think of? Not too much. I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I'm sure there's lots I'm missing, Kenneth Branagh as the bad guy. As I said in my spoiler-free review, he's very menacing. He does a lot of yelling. He does a good accent. I like that cheeky little scene with Michael Caine, the cameo. You know, the British don't have a monopoly on snobbery. And he's like, well, consider snobbery our vested interest or something like that. It was just a beautiful scene. It was awesome. He does a good job in it. Overall, I think that's it, guys. Let me know what you thought about this movie. I gave Tenet a 9 out of 10. It could be a 9.5 out of 10 when I go back and watch it again, which is something that you guys will want to do for sure, because it's just, it's a good film. It's a good film. All right, that's it. My name is James. You're watching Mirror Domains. YouTube is recommending a video for you to watch right there, and you can see my spoiler-free one probably right there. My spoiler-free review. That's it. All right. Subscribe.